broke the deep slumber in my brain a crash of heavy thunder, that I shook myself, as one by main force roused. Risen upright, my rested eyes I moved around, and searched with fixed ken to know what place it was, wherein I stood. For certain on the brink I found me of the lamentable vale, the dread abyss, that joins a thunderous sound of plaints innumerable. Dark and deep, and thick with clouds o'erspread, mine eye in vain explored its bottom, nor could aught discern. Now let us to the blind world there beneath descend. The bard began all pale of look, I go the first, and thou shalt follow next. Then I his altered hue perceiving, thus, how may I speed, if thou yieldest to dread, who still art wont to comfort me in doubt? He then, the anguish of that race below with pity stains my cheek, which thou for fear mistakest. Let us on. Our length of way urges to haste. Onward, this said, he moved, and entering led me with him on the bounds of the first circle, that surrounds th abyss. Here, as mine ear could note, no plaint was heard except of sighs, that made th eternal air tremble, not caused by tortures, but from grief felt by those multitudes, many and vast, of men, women, and infants. Then to me the gentle guide, inquirest thou not what spirits are these, which thou beholdest? Ere thou pass farther, I would thou know, that these of sin were blameless, and if aught they merited, it profits not, since baptism was not theirs, the portal to thy faith. If they before the gospel lived, they served not God aright, and among such am I. For these defects, and for no other evil, we are lost. Only so far afflicted, that we live desiring without hope. So grief assailed my heart at hearing this, for well I knew suspended in that limbo many a soul of mighty worth. Oh, tell me, sire revered. Tell me, my master. I began through wish of full assurance in that holy faith, which vanquishes all error, say, did err any, or through his own or others' merit, come forth from thence, whom afterward was blessed. Piercing the secret purport of my speech, he answered, I was new to that estate, when I beheld a puissant one arrive amongst us, with victorious trophy crowned. He forth the shade of our first parent drew, Abel his child, and Noah righteous man, of Moses lawgiver for faith approved, of patriarch Abraham, and David king, Israel with his sire and with his sons, nor without Rachel whom so hard he won, and others many more, whom he to bliss exalted. Before these, be thou assured, no spirit of humankind was ever saved. We, while he spake, sees not our onward road, still passing through the wood, for so I named those spirits thick beset. We were not far on this side from the summit, when I kenned a flame, that o'er the darkened hemisphere prevailing shined. Yet we a little space were distant, not so far but I in part discovered, that a tribe in honor high that place possessed. O thou, who every art and science valuest! Who are these, that boast such honor, separate from all the rest? He answered, the renown of their great names that echoes through your world above, acquires favor in heaven, which holds them thus advanced. Meantime a voice I heard, honor the bard sublime. His shade returns that left us late. No sooner ceased the sound, than I beheld four mighty spirits toward us bend their steps, of semblance neither sorrowful nor glad. When thus my masterkind began, mark him, who in his right hand bears that falchion keen, the other three preceding, as their lord. This is that Homer, of all bards supreme, Flaccus the next in satire's vein excelling, the third is Naso, Lucan is the last. Because they all that appellation own, with which the voice singly accosted me, honoring they greet me thus, and well they judge. So I beheld united the bright school of him the monarch of sublimest song, that o'er the others like an eagle soars. When they together short discourse had held, they turned to me, with salutation kind beckoning me, at the which my master smiled, nor was this all, but greater honor still they gave me, for they made me of their tribe, and I was sixth amid so learned a band. Far as the luminous beacon on we passed speaking of matters, then befitting well to speak, now fitter left untold. At foot of a magnificent castle we arrived, 7 times with lofty walls begirt, and round defended by a pleasant stream. O'er this as o'er dry land we passed. Next through 7 gates I with those sages entered, and we came into a mead with lively verdure fresh. There dwelt a race, who slow their eyes around majestically moved, and in their port bore eminent authority, they spake seldom, but all their words were tuneful sweet. We to one side retirred, into a place open and bright and lofty, whence each one stood manifest to view. Incontinent there on the green enamel of the plain were shown me the great spirits, by whose sight I am exalted in my own esteem. Electra there I saw accompanied by many, among whom Hector I knew, and Chryses pious son, and with hawks I Caesar all armed, and by Camilla their Penthesilia. On the other side old King Latinus, seated by his child Lavinia, and that Brutus I beheld, who Tarquin chased, Lucretia, Cato's wife Marcia, with Julia and Cornelia there, and sole apart retirred, the Soldan fierce. Then when a little more I raised my brow, I spied the master of the sapient throng, seated amid the philosophic train. Him all admire, all pay him reverence due. There Socrates and Plato both I marked, nearest to him in rank, Democritus, who sets the world at chance, Diogenes, with Heraclitus, and Empedocles, and Anaxagoras, and Thales sage, Zeno, and Dioscorides well read in nature's secret lore. Orpheus I marked and Linus, Tully and moral Seneca, Euclid and Ptolemy, Hippocrates, Galenus, Avicen, and him who made that commentary vast, Averroes. Of all to speak it full were vain attempt, for my wide theme so urges, that ofttimes my words fall short of what bechanked. Into the 6 associates part. Another way my sage guide leads me, from that air serene, into a climate ever vexed with storms, and to a part one come where no light shines.